putting together my final argument essay, my position paper. The example that I've showed you has been me writing a theory essay. Regardless of the type of essay that you have written, the process of putting together the one long PDF remains the same. At the top left corner, I add my name, course date. Remember, every draft I wrote gets counted as words. We have specific word counts that are required by the district. So I want to add in all those drafts, and then I want to show my final word count. Below that, I have my title. My title image, no cartoons. I know you might argue that this is a cartoon, but it's sort of new agey. Words, logos, nothing like that. Next, I have my abstract, and I double check and make sure that that is all Times New Roman 12 font. It is all double spaced, and that I have followed all of the directions for the abstract. Remember, the abstract is provided to you in directions including step-by-step tutorial, sentence by sentence, what is required for an abstract. After the abstract, I include my essay. I've written my essay in sections. You may or may not have written your essay in sections, whichever way you chose to go. Since I wrote mine in sections, I start with section number 1, the introductory section. This is a longer essay. Yours will not be this long. But remember, I start off with some relaxed formal language by relating myself to the topic and to my reader. I described my images, but you are not required to do so. You may, if you like. You simply click on the image, and in the picture options, you would add that description. Again, this is not required for any of your essays. Remember, the introduction needs a strong thesis statement. As you remember, a thesis statement is one sentence. Let's look at this one sentence together. I know you think, oh my gosh, how many words can you put in a sentence? But this is a big essay. It's got a lot of components, and so it is a big sentence. Okay, The Power of Woodstock, 1969, a study of the tipping point, which shows one of our pieces of evidence of the power of context, law of the few, connectors, and the stickiness factor, combined with the laws of Western esoteric philosophy to form a theory of the unexpected cataclysmic success of the most influential socio-cultural event of the 20th century, a symphony of the mystical institution, Western esoteric principles, and the spirituality, including the deeper I, the deeper we, and the shared we. So that is a power-packed sentence, but the reader can see everything that's contained in the essay. The reader knows that the essay will be talking about using the tipping point and other references. The reader knows that this will be an essay about the power of context, the law of the few, and connectors. And we know that that foundation will also be combined with some of the philosophy to include the deeper I, the deeper we, and the shared we. So I know that's complicated. Yours will be much more simple. On the essay goes. That's my next section. Let's just skip to the bottom. This is the end of the essay, making my final point of the essay. And I scroll down because this is a larger essay, this is a larger paper. The works cited will be on a separate page. Remember, for shorter essays, the works cited can go right underneath the last words of the essay. But for this bigger project, we need a works cited on its own page. Notice that I have removed the annotations from each one of these citations. Let's review that very quickly by going over to EasyBib. In EasyBib, I see a citation from my annotated bibliography assignment, and I see that this citation contains an annotation. To remove that, I simply click Edit. When the Edit box opens, I scroll down to that annotation. I simply delete it, and I click Update the citation. Now, that annotation will be gone. Remember, in EasyBib, when I have completed all of the citations and checked them all, I will export all, and then I have a choice. I can export them as a Word doc or as a Google Doc, whichever is your preference. For now, I'm going to use Google Docs. I click Export. It's going to let me connect my Gmail account, whatever account that is. After I connect that account, I click Export, and the citations will show up in a Google Doc or in a Word doc, whatever you've chosen. I will then copy that and paste it into my essay, just like this. I copied everything from that Google Doc or Word doc, and I've copied and pasted it into my essay. Now, even though it's pasted in, I want to scroll through and make sure everything on here makes sense and that everything is appropriately cited. Now, you won't have this many citations, but you do want to make sure that you've covered all the bases with all of your citations. If you opened it and looked at it, it goes in your works cited. And again, you do not need to cite the images that you have used. It's not required for this course. Now I've figured all of my citations, and it's time to add my outline. I go to the document where I've worked on that outline. It doesn't have to be pretty, but it does need to be detailed. And I add it in. Now, the way I write, I color code things, so there's my outline. I add my images to outlines just so I make sure I know where they go and I don't get confused. Your outline needs to go here. Doesn't have to be pretty. Now that that's all finished, I'm ready to look at my word count. Now I see the word count for this final draft that I'm submitting, and I see the total number of words. Yours, of course, will be a smaller word count than that. But remember, if I did 3 drafts and I reworked each one of those 3 drafts, I get credit for all those drafts as well. So those would be added to this to come up with my final word count. Again, this is an honor system. You will determine your word count. You will put what the basic drafts are, and then you will put your final word count here. Again, that will be a number of words, and that goes here. Now, when you have completed everything and you've gone back through and checked it all and walked away from it and come back again, now it is time to save this as a PDF, the entire document as one PDF. I will save that as a Word document. If you've been working in Pages or some other format, you'll want to save that original kind of content also. And then I'm going to also save that as a PDF. And the PDF is what I will submit. When the PDF has been created, I will save that to my home screen, my desktop. And then I will go into the course and submit that saved PDF document. That concludes this tutorial on the final submission of the argument essay, the position paper.